Hey, what's up, guys? This is Craig Pera. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Happy belated Thanksgiving. My name is Craig Pera. I'm the founder of the Mindful Habit. And if you don't know, I work with men all over this great planet struggling with compulsive sexual behavior. I've been there, brothers. I lost a six-figure job. I almost lost my wife and kids. I was touched as a young boy by an older neighborhood kid who showed me pornography. And that, in addition to a number of other what we call family of origin issues, led to a lifetime struggle of compulsive sexual behavior. When I lost everything, I started getting help, and the guy that was helping me hired me, saw a gift in me to felt that I could make a powerful change. And I love the energy that I brought to this space. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I'm so grateful. And oh boy, here we go. My volume's muted. It's not muted on my end. Can you hear me? All right, let's just do a quick audio check to make sure people can hear me. Thank you for your patience. If someone can respond, that'd be awesome. Yes, wonderful, 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 wonderful. Well, so anyway, happy Thanksgiving, guys. The holidays can be a very stressful time. In fact, it's my busy season. Unfortunately, fortunately, I love helping people, but there's so much stress in the holidays. It's so triggering for so many different people. So I wanted to do this webinar to kind of bring it back to basics. And, I find there's a tendency in this space to profoundly overcomplicate things. If you've listened to some of my videos and some of my webinars in the past, I've told you about the guys who call me who know more about brain science than a neurosurgeon, but they can't stop watching porn. So I want to keep things simple in this webinar and share with you the 5 things that my guys who are successful are doing 3 months, 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, these 5 things. And I noticed a trend starting to emerge. And when I look at this trend, and I'm going to share each one of these 5 things with you, but when I started to look at this trend, and listen, you guys know, right? The golden rule of behavior modification. Can anyone type that in the chat box and tell me what that is? Because if you don't know it, you need to know it. To break a habit, you have to make a habit. You must do something. You must take action. And if you exclusively focus on not doing the thing, porn, compulsive sexual behavior, alcohol, drugs, whatever it might be, whatever it is the thing you're running away from, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. There is no long-term success running away from the thing. That's important in the beginning, but you have to start running towards what you want in life. And because we're creatures of habit, because we spend 50, 60+% of our waking hours in habit land, subconsciously reacting to external stimuli, I started to look around at what makes success. And so I looked to the business world, right? There's a place where they know success, they know metrics. And I started to think about this concept that I learned when I was in business, that what gets measured gets done. What gets measured gets done. And because we're creatures of habit, because our triggers are biologically hardwired, what infrastructure are we going to have in place to resist those biologically hardwired triggers when they come? And so as I'm talking through these 5 things, I want you to think about your report card from elementary school. I want you to think of scoring yourself in these fundamental. These are the basics. This is easy. Some of the things I'm going to tell you, at least 3 or 4 of them, you already know. But I'm here to remind you because they are important. These 5 things are what my guys do long-term who are successful. In addition to a whole bunch of other things, but they all have these 5 things in common. So let me get started, okay? I'm going to go through each one of the 5 things. And at the end, if you have some time for questions, we'll do that. I'm also going to share with you a really big discount that I'm having in my online program, which I'm really excited about. That's $1 for the first month. So I want you guys to check that out. That's a really, really powerful program. I'm proud of it. It's my life's work, and the feedback on the program has been amazing. But I'm going to start with number one. Okay, let me tell you just a quick story. I was working with this guy, and this is going back right when I started coaching. I'll never forget it. And he was struggling. I wasn't working my magic. It wasn't working. It wasn't clicking. And a month and a half in, I realized the guy told me he weighed 350 pounds. I'm like, wait a minute. We've been talking about porn. We've been talking about porn for the past couple of months. Okay. And here I've got a man who is profoundly ignoring his body. So number one, if you want to be successful, you must eat well. Now, you guys know that, and I'm not even going to bore you with all the scientific studies that talk about a good diet equals a healthy well-being, but think about what you're doing when you're acting out sexually. You're not respecting your body. You're not honoring your body. Okay, there's just a slew of bad habits that keep moving you away from what you want to accomplish. You have to take care of your body. It's that simple. It increases your well-being. It reduces your compulsive urges. You feel better about yourself. You look better. Okay, you start being proactive in your life around this. And I want you guys, when you get off this call, look in the mirror. Right? How do you feel about yourself? Are you at your target weight? Are you healthy? Maybe you're smoking cigarettes, right? This is all interconnected. And when guys focus exclusively on the pornography, they fail because there are so many other habits in their lives that are contributing to their mediocrity, to their malaise, and to their underachievement. So number one is, are you eating well? Eat well. You must do that in order to be successful. You know that. I know that. You signed up for this webinar in this busy holiday season for me to tell you something that you already know. But I'm here to remind you. I'm here to remind you because this is important. Sometimes we get too caught up in the brain. Is it an addiction? And I go to the meetings and I do this. And listen, are you taking care of your body? Okay, remember that and think about that as you go through the holiday season so you can start living a metrics-driven life. What do you want to put in to your body? Okay, and you've got to respect and honor that part of you because it's really, frankly, the only one you got. Okay, so eating. All my guys who are successful, eat well. Number two, more obvious, guys, sorry to break it to you, sleeping. Are you sleeping well? The rule of thumb is 8 hours per day. My guys get by on 6. There's an article recently that was out that says 8 hours isn't the norm. You don't need to sleep at whatever it is, right? Whatever that is for you. I'm not going to get into that. Go to the medical sites but you know whether or not you're sleeping well. When you're not using porn and you're up till 3 o'clock in the morning playing video games, or when you're up really late watching movies and you're getting into work at 7, 8, 9 o'clock and you're exhausted and you're wiped, listen, of course you're going to act out. There should be no surprise. Look at your patterns. Look at the patterns in your life. And I've talked about this in another webinar. Look at your red zone. And your red zone is the place in your life where you are doing most of the thing that you don't want to do. Because guys come to me, right? They're a complete mess. They're in shambles. They can't get their head together. But when we peel it back, we find out, man, if we could just eliminate the hours between 10 and 12 at night, this guy would be kicking butt. This guy's life would be so much better. So focus on that red zone, and it wouldn't surprise me, and it's very, very common in my work with men, is that they're acting out at night. Their wife goes to sleep. Their girlfriend goes to sleep. If they're living by themselves, they're staying up late. They're just on YouTube. They're on Reddit. They're doing their thing, and boom, before you know it, they get sucked down the rabbit hole. Again, I am not going to bore you with the overwhelming evidence that tells you good sleep is absolutely critical for a healthy and successful life. You have to honor the temple, okay? You have to honor and respect your body, just like I want you all to honor and respect your sexuality. It's powerful. And so if you're going to honor and respect your sexuality and you say you want to stop using porn, then look in the mirror, man, right? I just want to be real honest. I just want to be really, really honest and blunt with you guys. Are you getting enough sleep? Are you eating? Number three, Simple, simple, simple. Are you hydrating your body? Are you drinking enough water? You may say, of course I am. If your pee is really, really yellow, you are not hydrating your body. Now, I encourage all of you, again, over the course of the next few days, make up your own little report card. See how you are doing in each one of these areas. Are you eating well? Are you sleeping well? Are you hydrating your body? If you're not taking care of the basics, brothers, if you're not taking care of the basics, you are not going to live the life that you are destined to live. You're here, right? Listen, this went out to thousands of people. Tens of thousands of people were exposed to this. And hey, not everybody likes me, and that's totally fine. Some people got other things to do. You've all prioritized this because you believe that you could get something from it. Why? Because you know you're destined for greater. You know there's greatness inside you, and I want to help you find it. But what I'm not going to do is overlook the obvious. Eating, sleeping, drinking. Can anyone guess what the next one is? You should know that one too. Okay. Now, before I get to that one, if you do those things well, is it going to eliminate your porn problem? Absolutely not. Is it going to profoundly impact it, especially if you're weak in those areas? What do you think? The answer is absolutely correct. The answer is absolutely yes. I know, I see it. I lived it myself personally, and I literally see it every single day. And especially during the holiday season, we gorge ourselves. I grew up in an Italian family, the Feast of the Seven Fish on Christmas Eve and the Christmas dinner and the Thanksgiving dinner. Literally eat almost like in Hunger Games till we vomit, right? Not taking care of our body. You don't have to do that, right? You don't have, that's a habit. That's a habit, right? And to break a habit, you have to make a habit, right? And so what new habits do you want to introduce in your life in regards to honoring your body by putting good stuff in it, by taking care of your body, by getting a good night's sleep, okay, and hydrating your body, hydrating your body. Now, the next two areas, I want to introduce them a little bit differently, okay, because these are important. The last one might be new to you. This next one, you absolutely unequivocally know. You just, duh. Thanks, Craig. Thanks for taking up my time. But listen, I promise you, focus on these things and you're going to see improvement. So sometimes this can be overwhelming. Okay, where do I start? What do I do? I don't have time to eat well. I don't have time to hydrate my body. I'm busy with work. I don't have time to sleep. I don't have time. Okay. But the next one is absolutely critical. Exercise. How many guys here regularly exercise? How many guys here feel good about their body? Okay. If the answer is no, then you have to do something about it. Again, I'm not going to bore you with the science around the benefits of exercise. Increases well-being, scientific fact. Makes you feel better about yourself, increases self-esteem, scientific fact. Increases dopamine, reduces depression, right? Anxiety, stress, compulsive urges. Fact. So let me tell you a little something about exercise, because here's the place where people stumble. I got to exercise for 30 minutes a day. I got to exercise for an hour a day, right? We set goals for ourselves that are absolutely unattainable, right? And I've done it. I've done it my entire life. I realized, oh my God, I'm out of shape. I've got to do something. I got to run 2 miles a day. Oh, I'm going to do hot yoga. I'm going to wake up 5:30 in the morning. I haven't woken up at 5:30 in the morning in years. That ain't going to happen, brother. Let's be smart about this. So I want you to incorporate a concept around exercise in the next habit that I'm going to talk about. And this concept is mini habits and micro goals. You may have heard me mention this website before, www.deepexistence.com. And this guy's got a great book and some great articles on mini habits and micro goals. And let me tell you what they are. A mini habit or a micro goal is a ridiculously attainable goal. It's almost like embarrassing. It's almost like, oh man, that's so easy. So let me give you an example. Okay. So I had a client who was overweight, wasn't taking care of his body, and had done coaching for his diet. He had a dietitian that he worked with. He had joined the gym. He had a personal trainer. all those things, and yet he couldn't. He couldn't do it. It was failure after failure after failure after failure. So here's what I had him do. I had him put on. I asked him, I encouraged him, motivated him, pushed him to put on his running shoes and put on his shorts and stand outside in his front yard for 1 minute. For 1 minute, 60 seconds with a timer. And there he is, right? Day one, looking at his watch, standing out there with his running shoes on. Listen, how are you going to run 2 miles a day when you haven't put on your running shoes in 6 months? You don't even know where your shorts are. You haven't been outside to exercise because you've been consumed with what you think is living. It's not. Okay? And so there he is, right? The first day he called me that night and said, I was out there cursing you. This is stupid. Craig is stupid. Why am I out here? This is ridiculous. This is so foolish. What am I going to get? Well, guess what? The second day, he started to stretch, started to move around a little bit. Next day, walked to the end of the block, walked to the end of the driveway first, walked to the end of the block, walked around the block, walked around lots of blocks, walked around miles. 1 mile turned into 2, turned into 3, turned into 5. He lost 100 pounds. I got about 10 stories like that that started with these mini habits and micro goals. So if you don't have time to exercise, I guarantee you have 60 seconds in the day. Do 60 seconds of burpees, and you tell me that you don't feel like your body's gotten a workout. Okay, a minute of jumping jacks. A minute of walking up and down the stairs in your office building. 60 seconds. Do that every single day for 7 days. Now, you guys know I'm setting you up because you know what's going to happen. 1 minute turns into 2 minutes, turns into 3 minutes, turns into 4 minutes, turns into 5. And before you know it, you have built a regular exercise routine. Why? Because you set for yourself an attainable goal. You guys know about SMART goals? SMART goals is an acronym. Look up. There's a great Wikipedia article on it, or someone wants to pull it and post it in the chat section. SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable. We always forget that one. Relevant and time bound. Okay. Is your goal attainable? So don't tell me you want to run 2 miles a day every day for the next month when you haven't ran around the block once in the past year. So let's be smart about this. And see, there's a problem, right? Because we've got this belief system inside so many of us that failure equals failure. Well, in fact, it always equals opportunity. That what we're doing isn't good enough. Okay, and we've got to change that belief system because something is better than nothing. And so that attainability component of SMART goals is so powerful. Literally. And you're starting to see physical therapists. I see someone who's an exercise science major who joined us. Way to go. And we're seeing people who are trying to motivate other people to do things. They're embracing these concept of micro goals. Why? Because it works. You don't have 60 seconds. Well, then there's another problem. We got to dig deeper. You got 30 seconds? What about 10? All right, well, then maybe you need to go see a doctor. Maybe there's something else going on. Okay, but don't lose sight of the obvious. Remember, live a metrics-driven life, SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable around exercise. Exercise 1 minute a day for the next 7 days, and I guarantee your life will improve, and you've dramatically increased the chances. Think about this. We're playing long-term here, guys. You want to play checkers or you want to play chess? Okay, let's think long-term here. Okay, are you going to be fit exercising, 1 minute a day? Well, maybe if you did burpees, I think you would, because those kill me. No. But are you creating the capacity for success? Remember, a journey, I love cliches, of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. What I'm asking you to do here around micro goals is to focus exclusively on that single step. Okay, so let me recap the 4 already. Eating, sleeping, drinking, and exercise. Duh, right? I mean, come on, that's obvious. That's obvious, but please look at your life and see how you're doing in each one of those fundamental areas, right? If we're not taking care of the basics, we're not going to be successful. That makes sense? You understand that? I mean, think about that for a second, okay? If you're overweight, you're playing video games, you're eating late at night, you're not sleeping, drinking 3 or 4 Red Bulls a day, And you wonder why you can't stop watching porn. Start making progress, even a little bit of progress in these 5 areas. And I'm going to introduce the 5th one in a second because it is very, very important. Very, very important. And you're going to see progress. Okay. Number 5 is mindfulness. Mindfulness. Thank you for posting the SMART criteria. Mindfulness. A lot of people that call me don't know what that is. Now, I'm in this world, and so it's the mindful habit method. And I want to tell you what that's the name of my program. Mindfulness is one of the, if not the most effective behavior change modalities on the planet. And what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is the Western medical definition for meditation. I'm not talking spiritual meditation. I'm not talking Buddhist meditation. I'm talking about the Western science, the mindfulness that's being used by the U.S. military. There's a mindfulness institute that the U.S. military has, where their elite troops who are going into war get trained on mindfulness, and troops coming out with PTSD get trained on mindfulness. Mindfulness was founded by, or one of the early pioneers was John Kabat-Zinn from Boston University. And first he used it to deal with stress because they brain scanned these monks and all the good parts of their brains were lit up. It was on fire. Like, we got to do something. This is powerful. This is profound. Mindfulness has been shown to actually change your brain. Recent study in Harvard University, I think it was Harvard, said it is one of the most effective treatments for depression. Okay, and what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is simply meditating, sitting in the right now, where we're sitting right now, and in your chair, right? Sitting there, closing your eyes, and just counting your breaths. It's that simple. Do that for 60 seconds before you start digging in. What is mindfulness? What does it mean? How do I achieve more mindfulness? And here's why mindfulness is important, because this blew my mind when I figured this out. I was like, holy moly, because you guys know I'm obsessed with habits. To break a habit, you have to make a habit. I'm obsessed with habits. And so what is a habit? A habit is the subconscious automatic reaction to an external stimuli. Okay, how do they define mindfulness? Mindfulness is being in the present moment on purpose, without judgment, not automatically responding to external stimuli. So you've got kind of this yin-yang thing going on here, right? So you've got this balance that exists in your life. And listen, we're creatures of habit. We need habits to survive. We can't get out of bed in the morning. We can't open a car door. We can't type on the computer. We can't play an instrument. We can't dance. We can't sing. Can't do our jobs. Can't move. Can't take a shower. I mean, think about it. Habits control our lives. In addition to the obvious habits that you're probably aware of, there's a slew of other emotional habits, this negative historical energy that manifests itself in your life every time you're triggered. So how do you counterbalance that? And remember, if you guys have been paying attention to me, you know your triggers are biologically hardwired. There's no place where they're going away. So what infrastructure do you need to have in place in order to support that? What infrastructure do you need to have in order to replace that, to respond to that? And so let me give you a couple of mindfulness mindfulness resources that you can find on the web. Okay, first is the give me 1 second, guys. I goofed up. Hold on. There we go. All right. So mindfulness, again, one of the most effective behavior change modalities on the planet. It is used in the leading addiction treatment centers now all over the world. I'm talking about the fancy ones that don't take insurance, where people fly to, some in the Caribbean, because mindfulness is so effective. Here's a couple of resources that you can use. And I don't have any affiliation with these companies, but I love it. And it's an app that I use myself. On the iPhone and Droid, there's an app called Headspace. If we could put basic mindfulness in a box and have it be awesome. That's exactly what this app does. Okay. And it is, you just literally sit there, you put on your headphones and you close your eyes and you just pay attention. And what you're looking to do is creating space between those thoughts that are telling you to act out compulsively, to get defensive when your wife's asking you questions, to be an asshole, right? All those things, right? They're all habits. They're all habits. So how do we counterbalance those habits? So of all the men that I've worked with, okay, and so many of them have been successful. And when I talk to these guys who've made profound, powerful life changes, they all have this in common. They're all taking care of the basics, right? Before we get into some of the advanced stuff about how to manipulate our triggers, how to learning the habit cycle, how to create space, some more of the advanced mindfulness techniques, let's look at the basics, guys, and use these 5 categories: eating, sleeping, drinking, exercise, and mindfulness like a report card. How are you doing? Live a metrics-driven life, because that is what you need to do in order to respond to the biology of our compulsive behaviors, to our biology of habits. We have to live a metrics-driven life, and what gets measured gets done. All right, I'm going to stop now. I'm going to wrap up. I want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving, belated, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all those great holidays. I love you all. I'm going to break now, and I'm going to answer some of your questions. So if you guys have any questions, I've got a few more minutes, and I'd like to answer some of those questions. And someone asked me a good one. What is the name of that app again? It is called Headspace, and I'm going to type it without knocking my computer over. There we go. There we go. The app is called Headspace. The website is getsomeheadspace.com. Mindfulness is probably one of the most difficult things that I teach. Okay. Not because it's hard. Right? You sit there, breathe, count. Right? 1, 2, 3. And by the way, do this when you get off the call. Take 60 seconds and count your breaths. That's all you're going to do. That's all I want you to do. Let this be your mind. Let this be your mindfulness micro habit. Let this be your mindfulness micro habit over the course of the 7 days. Set a micro habit and a mini goal for exercise, and do the same thing for mindfulness. Here's the mindfulness exercise. It's called, guess what? The Mindful Minute. Mindful Minute sounds good, right? And here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit by yourself, find some quiet, back straight, you know, nice, good posture. You can sit on the floor, cross legs, sit in your chair. I don't care. And I want you to count your breaths. Okay, just breathe. 1, 2. Watch how quickly your mind wanders. Most guys can't get to 5. And you're probably saying that's ridiculous. Of course I can get to 5. I was just doing mindfulness today, and I've had a crazy, crazy week. I'm in a play this weekend. I'm Jacob Marley in a play called Seussified Christmas Carol. I wish some of you guys were local. Then you could come see me in Northern California. I get to wrap my whole scene, which is just going to be epic. And then I've got this webinar, and the calls have been crazy, and the kids and the school and the holidays. And it's just, I got to 7. And I literally, my mind wandered so quickly, so fast. I didn't even know what I was doing. I completely forgot about mindfulness. And it was like a minute later, I'm like, wait a minute. Here I am sitting here practicing mindfulness, and there I am worrying about what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to do tomorrow. Who do I got to call back? What do I got to do? I got to work on this, got to work on that. My mind was bouncing all over the place. Okay. We've got to control those thoughts. You have to. And mindfulness is one of the most effective strategies to doing it. All right, let me look down and see some questions. What is the biggest advantage of working directly with you? Is I have what I believe literally, and listen, I know some of you guys are going to say that's just crazy, a revolutionary habit, mindfulness, and action-based program that does 2 things very, very effectively. Okay, and these 2 things are absolutely critical to moving forward. So you start by running away from negative, right? Through looking at your behavior through the lens of the habit cycle, how it manifests itself in your life, looking at your behavior through the lens of the habit cycle. So instead of starting backwards, right, you go to a counselor, and I've done this for years and years and years, talking about the past, talking about the trauma. Listen, that's important. I don't want to minimize that, okay? But all I did was do that for year after year after year after year about the problems, the molestation, the adoption, the this, the that. And I wasn't doing anything to move forward. So I move you away from your compulsive behavior. We start by running away from your compulsive behavior, and we start by running towards it. And I want to type something in here, guys. The code, if you're interested in joining my online program, okay, it is insanely powerful. The reviews have been phenomenal. We have a professional athlete in the program, a senior executive in the program, and a whole bunch of other hardworking men who are looking to change their lives fast and frankly want to do it economically. Okay, the program costs $49 per month, and with that, you get 35 videos. Right? You can actually order this if you want. These are the DVDs. And you get the 175-page workbook, okay, that I wrote to guide you step by step by step. Look at, I'm on the cover of a book. And listen, guys, I know I'm bragging now, but this feels so good. This feels so good looking at my face. I was in such a dark, dark, dark place. And to be here now, to have, 400 plus people sign up for this webinar. I don't know how many people are on now, how many attendees we got. It is truly a blessing. I work with clients in 16 countries all over the world. Truly, truly an honor and a privilege. The code to get your first month for $1. The code to get your first month for $1 is freedom. I just typed it in there. For some reason that didn't pop up. Okay. Freedom is the code. That'll give you your first month for $1. It's $49 at every month thereafter. You can cancel anytime, and I have a money back guarantee. Right? I like to put my money where my mouth is because you're paying me for results, whether you see me one-on-one or whether you see me through the online course. And check this out. With the online course, we have a weekly teleconference call where we're talking just like this, except it's a lot smaller, right? And I may actually add another call because they've been so powerful where we get 7, 8, 9, 10 guys together anonymously sharing. And I deliver a lecture on a topic that sometimes the guys in the course pick, sometimes I pick it. And then we do question and answers, and we set goals for the following week. So you get that personal touch, and there's a community forum, and there's the videos, and there's the workbook, and there's the weekly webinars. So you get that for $1, and I want to do that for the holiday season. I'm feeling generous, and I really, really want to have a lot more people in that program, so we can help you guys embrace your power of choice in a very, very powerful way. Someone asked me a great question. Other resources for mindfulness. One powerful book that I read is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Okay, one of the more important books that I read that talked about being in the present moment on purpose without judgment. So that's a great resource. Another resource that you can download for free is Mindfulness in Plain English. Okay, the other place you can get some great information is on YouTube. Type in mindfulness. Listen to lectures from John Kabat, C-A-B-A-T, Zinn. Okay, John Zinn, Z-I-N-N. He's one of the pioneers in this place. Rory Reed from UCLA, who was the leading professional from who the APA recently decided to not include hypersexuality or sex addiction in the DSM. Rory Reed was one of the authors of that study, was one of the really, really important people who did that work, and he's got a video on mindfulness, and they're using it at UCLA. UCLA also has a number of free guided meditations. If you type in UCLA mindfulness, you'll get a whole bunch of free resources that you can use. So again, but let's get back to basics, right? Over the course of the next week, I want you to grade yourself on your diet. Are you eating well? Are you respecting the body? Right? That's all you got, brother. So you better start respecting it now. If you're not respecting it there, what makes you think you're going to respect it in another area of your life? Okay. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? If you're not sleeping, and I know some people out there are struggling with insomnia, you get to bed early, you shut the electronics off. There are supplements out there that can help people. And if it becomes chronic, if it's serious, go to a doctor. Dude, you don't sleep well, you die younger. It's that simple. Okay? Okay, sleeping is important. Are you hydrating your body? Are you drinking? I mean, without water, you die, And so are you taking care of the basics? Are you exercising? Start with 1 minute a day over the course of the next 7 days. Mindfulness. Guys, you don't have to get all crazy with the mindfulness. I'm just saying, sit where you are right now when you're off this call and count your breaths. And you'll say, wow, Craig was right. I only get up to 5, 6, 7 before my mind started wandering. You'll start to notice, if you've never done this before, around 3, 4, or 5. What am I going to have for lunch tomorrow? What do I got to do? Oh, I got to call. And okay, 4, and then it starts all over again. So, a couple people asked me a question: can this get better in 12 short weeks? It absolutely can. I absolutely can. And that's why I offer a money back guarantee. And I tell everybody, and I've been offering a money back guarantee, guys, for almost 3 years now. And I do that in my one-on-one work too. It's not just in the online course, it's in my one-on-one work. In those 3 years, I've had one person ask for their money back. Okay. And he called me back the next day and gave it back. I refunded it immediately, of course. So nobody in that time period has asked for their money back after working with me for those first 3 weeks. And you can look at some of the testimonials on the website, and you can see the incredible, powerful change that this path provides for people. So I'm honored and I'm privileged to be here for you. I'm going to be doing another webinar next month, and I'd love to see you all on the program. Use the code FREEDOM. Get your first month for free. $1. Get your first month $1. Is it you signed up for this? Is it worth experimenting, seeing if this guy talking about habits and mindfulness makes any sense? And follow that workbook and follow those videos. And at the end of those 12 weeks, your life is going to be profoundly changed, because you're going to do 2 things. You're going to run away from the thing you don't want to do, and you're going to start running aggressively towards what you do want to do. Because I believe whatever modality you choose, whichever one you choose, the cure for this affliction, addiction, mediocrity, malaise, underachievement is the aggressive pursuit of a great life. I want you guys to aggressively pursue a great life. Thank you for your support. Honor and a privilege to be talking to you guys. If you have any questions about the program, email me. But again, the code is FREEDOM, FREEDOM. I want you to be free. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, peace and love, and look forward to seeing you guys in the next webinar, okay? Bye-bye.